Phone call may have just come in from Mr. Shannon Sanders,
Oh
even
no,
as
it's
I was
okay.
just promoting the radio campaign. He just came in. So I want
No,
to
it's
thank all
okay.
of you
It's
for
okay. We're
just
gonna
sitting
put you
tight
we're
on
on
our
air right
Facebook
now. We're gonna
page
put
with
you
us.
on
We're
in
about
just
to
a
get
few
him all
seconds. Is
hooked
that
up for
okay?
his interview, and then you all can
All
basically
right. Thank you
hear
so
this
much, Shannon.
dynamic
Appreciate
interview
you.
with this super duper producer. For those of you that have actually had an opportunity to Google him, you will know that he has worked with some of everybody. So if you look up on the screen behind me, you will see that I actually have one of his pictures posted behind me. And gosh, we're getting ready to get into this interview. So praise the Lord. I thank God. You know, time is going to fly, right?
Oh, no
Time is
doubt,
going to
no
fly. I already
doubt.
know that.
And you know what? I want to do my own introduction as well. Now, man, we've been promoting him throughout today's show, and
Mm-hmm.
man, I just want to say this: this cat right here, he
Yes.
has a GED, but not the GED the way we get it. I'm talking about he has a Grammy, Emmy, and a Dove,
Woo!
and he's worked with so many artists from NDRE, John Legend, The Temptations,
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Reynolds, your favorite Evangel, Jill
Yes.
Scott, Scarface, Next, Mandisa, Nicole
Mm-hmm.
C. Mullen, Kimberly Locke, and so
And so
many
many more.
more. You know what I'm saying? And he sits on so many boards. He's also the program director at 102.1 The Bill. Welcome to the
Mm-hmm.
show, Shannon
Well,
Sanders.
we are so blessed and excited to have you part of the show. Now, you said you're 49 years old, but how long have you been in the industry?
You know, I would have to say probably 20 years or so, if not
Wow.
longer. Really, maybe really going on about 25.
Wow.
Um, in an official capacity. But
Uh-huh.
I would say, I started touring with India when I started at 30 when I started going on the road with India. I was India's musical director for almost 20 years,
Oh, wow.
and so I've
Jesus.
toured. Yeah, I toured with her, just keeping the band together, and but that's what allowed us to do so much work. We were able to accomplish so much because we were around each other so much,
Right.
touring, and you just fall into vibes. It's funny because the song that uh, we did with Jonathan McReynolds was actually a duet with her.
Yeah.
It was called "You
Wow.
Make Me
Oh.
Whole."
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
called "You Make Me Whole," and it was crazy because that was a song of ours. She played it for Jonathan. She and Jonathan are friends, and he was
Hmm.
like, "I got to do it," and so we did it on Jonathan. It was something that we were just playing around with and would sing and sound check. But it's amazing how many of those sound vibes evolved in the records over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to work with my boy
Yeah, yeah.
Gene Moore? Because I know Gene Moore sings with NERE.
Gene, nope. So now Gene is part of the new cast.
Okay.
Gene went out before. He went out on a Christmas tour with us,
Uh-huh.
and then but he's part of the new crew. Yeah, Gene's
Okay.
part of the new
Oh.
crew. So yeah, I know he's out there. I'm not sure if she goes out today. I'm not sure if Gene would still be doing it, but I know that he was definitely part of that last run, the Worthy run. I got songs on Worthy
Mhm.
as a writer producer, but I didn't do the tour.
Man.
Wow. So Shannon,
Yeah.
I threw a little search party trying to find some history on your childhood.
Uh oh. Uh
Uh-huh.
oh. Uh oh.
Look, I couldn't find much, but
Oh
you had
la.
this one
Oh
song that
la.
says "Long as I live," and I said, "Gosh, the lyrics are so personal."
Hey,
And I had to ask you, is that your life story? Are those the lyrics that are
that's my
talking
life.
about? That's your life.
Wow.
For
Hey,
our
that's
listeners
my
who have
life. That's
never
it.
heard the song before, I want you to talk about that, the story in that song,
And
and about your childhood.
you know what's funny about that is that I've got two friends, and they called me last week on three. I hadn't talked to either one of them in a long time, but they both have "Long as I Live" tattoos, and it's so
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
Wow.
It's so crazy to have. You know, that's the thing about this music thing. Sidebar, that's the beauty is I could die today, and I know that I beyond my children. I know that I created something that
Mm-hmm.
will outlive me, and that's the best feeling. Is like, I feel like I've already accomplished a lot just in being expressed. Just in my human experience, just by having been expressed through these songs. Uh, as the songwriter said, I feel like my living will not be in vain.
Mm.
But
Mm.
but long as I live, that was my way of coping with my grandfather's passing. That was on
Mm.
my record that
Oh,
came out in '99. Me and my
Mhm.
grandfather
yes.
was super tight. He was a pastor, and my grandparents took me in. So the song says it all. Mama was a bit too young. Daddy was a bit high strung. Granny saw it in a dream. Preacher's daughter pregnant at 17.
Mm.
Mama has some growing up to do. Daddy has some slowing down to do. Just know I'm not mad at you. We had to do what we had to do.
Mm.
Thank God for my grandmama. Where
Mm.
would I be without my granddad as long as I live? And then the second verse, uh, Granddaddy left us about a year ago, just before the snow. Though he whipped my tail, he equipped me well. I'm thankful for every bell. Grandmama's here with me right now. You ask her, she would say, if it was up to me, he'd have his college degree, but I'm just thankful he's the man that we raised him to be. I'm satisfied. That's my grandmama.
Man.
You know? And so,
Wow.
you know,
Come on.
so, and it's crazy because there's another one. I think I took it down. That was, it came out of that same energy. I just never put it out. And it was one year, you know, I got a bunch of songs that I record for myself, and it's just sort of a musical journal. You know, you got to think that everything that, you know, some things you hold for yourself. Not everything is for public consumption.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so, but I got one that I was holding for a long time. It was one of those. My cousin was like, man, you just need to go ahead and do it. So we did a slideshow for Father's Day and got a bunch of pictures. And I think we've taken it down since, but
No.
it was called,
Is it Daddy's
it was
Girl?
called That Old Man.
Oh, no, I'm thinking about the
Daddy's
other
Little
one.
Girl.
Okay.
It was called That Old Man.
That old
Yeah.
man. Okay.
It's called That Old Man from my granddaddy. It said, watch
Oh.
him give me his last on the tank of gas. Same time, tell me trouble gon' pass. Up at 6 in the morning, cut the church grass. So glad he whooped my, hey,
Ooh.
that old man. And then it said something wrong while my phone ringing so early. Granny said he left with angels at 4:30. Hard, but I know he had a good run. Good and faithful servant, well done. But I'm going to miss that old man. Yes, I will.
Wow.
Wow.
But glad he left the recipe for the gumbo. Glad he left the recipe to be good folk. Wish he could have lived to see my baby boy, but it brings me joy to tell him all about that old man. But song winds up like, you know, like now I am that old man. You know what I mean?
Wow.
At this point in the game of what I represent to my family, I am that old man. And you know, it's crazy. So yeah.
Wow.
So a lot of life in these old songs and a lot of truth. But what's beautiful though is when people can see themselves and their own lives and experiences reflected in something that you created. That's the best feeling.
Absolutely. That is beautiful. I love
You're a
it.
lyricist.
Yes,
That's
he
for real.
is. He is.
I got goosebumps.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just hearing you
Hey,
spit
man, we
like
do what
that.
we can do.
Thank you. Let's talk about your latest single. Let's talk about Glory, Stranger, with
Glory,
Fifth Jubilee
yeah.
Singers featuring Derek Minor. You know, tell us
Yeah.
how this song came about.
You know, I got to tell you, and in all honesty, we made this record not knowing we were making a record. That was a live performance that was recorded in 2017 for archival purposes. But the recording came out so well that it was later determined to turn it into a record. And, you know, it's just amazing, the timing, because, again, this was 2017. This was recorded, or performed, rather, and recorded. But how timely it is now. And so shout out to Common and John Legend for the original version of Glory. I sang the chorus that John sang in Glory, but it's Glory / Stranger because those verses aren't Common's verses. Those are Derek's verses, and Derek is a phenomenal artist. But Derek has a song called Stranger, and so those verses are from his Stranger and the chorus of Glory. So it's a mashup in that way. And so, but again, this was for a live performance. Like, we didn't know it was going to matter. You know, and but it's just amazing how timely it is right now, given the times, given the fact that we're experiencing our own version of a civil rights movement right now in Black Lives Matter. It just couldn't have been more timely. So, yeah, so we're excited about that particular piece of work, that we're able to speak so confidently and loudly to what's going on right now. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna play that cut in just a few. Now, Shannon, I know you got so much on your plate, you know what I'm saying, but what's coming up next, and what's coming up in the near future for you?
You know, in the near future, just more of the same. I think what's next for me is just more facilitation. You know, I'm making records. I told you, like, that's going down. Like, that's just who I am. I create, I make music all day, every day. That's what I do. But facilitation, you know, I feel myself getting to the point, you know, I tell folks, you know, I feel like Noah. You know, I feel like at some point I'm going to have to build the ark, and it's nothing I necessarily want to do, to be honest. But I'm winding up with I wind up having a lot of music these days, and you know, just because the music business is evolving, and so as a producer, it's putting me in partnership with a lot of artists, a lot of independent artists, with these master recordings, and so. You know, we'll see. You know, there's going to have to be some sort of entity come out of this because it doesn't make sense otherwise. So again, I'm going to have to evolve into some level of executive here soon. And like I said, it's not even that I want to. I have to. Just
like
for
that.
generations of my family and to come. It's the responsible thing for me to do is to figure this out. Because if something happened to me, man, it's not beat. Q17 is not gonna make sense to anybody when they go in and look at these hard drives.
Okay.
Like Q17, Q is just quarantine. You know what I mean?
You're
But
telling
ain't
the
nobody
truth.
gonna know. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna know what Q19. Everybody
Come
gonna know
on.
Q19 is jamming like that. You
Come
know what I mean?
on,
So
you are telling
I
the
got to
truth.
do it. So I'm gonna have to, figure this out. And be this label, a publishing entity, or some hybrid version of both, and this in a new school sort of music business configuration or business model. I'm not trying to do the traditional label thing or publishing thing that has been done before. I just think we're in a new day and time,
Right.
and letting technology is leading the way. And so I think that all bets are off. I think that we can configure this music business however we want to. So I want to look at the game and configure it, for what works best for me and my creativity and those that I come into contact with, and those that I'm trying to help get to the next level. And so I think that's what's next.
Okay. Now, Shannon, do you
On
fellowship
top of making
at,
more records and slap.
Yeah. For
do
real,
you
keep that up.
fellowship at any particular church right now?
You know what? I don't. And
Okay.
for a reason. Like I was teaching Sunday school by the time I was 15. So I have a really interesting perspective on all of that.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like I just feel like I've gotten to the point where I've graduated to a point. In a lot of ways, I say Christianity is my alma mater. Like it was the vehicle to get me to a point of enlightenment. And so as much as you love anything that gets you to a point, I really sought it, really went after it, and really got to a point of understanding that really at the end of the day, it's me versus me. So it's like, okay, I get it. And so I get the need for the institution as much as a university or hospital. But I think at some point, it's not to say that you're completely healed or you know everything that they teaching, but at some point you have to gradually graduate to get to the next point. And so at some point, pupil becomes teacher. So I know enough to be teacher. And so my thing at this point is more, I think that it manifests more in this music, to be honest. But I'm definitely sensitive to all of that. And, all that still Lord, he heard my cry. All that pitted every groan. You know what I mean? So, but but in that configuration, I would say that that's my alma mater. And, it's been the building, the very fundamental building blocks of my life. My faith and my spiritual life has been everything, definitely. And so that's why those songs manifest the way they do. A lot of work I've been able to do in India and beyond. And so, so I would say that that's how you really see it manifest for me.
I hear you. For us, we always talking about our relationship with the Lord. It's not a religion, but a relationship, and it's one that you enjoy. It's just you and Him, one-on-one. And when we look at our foundation in God, we look at who we're planted in. We know He's the source. The minute our spirit comes up out of our body, this flesh drops to the ground. It goes back to the dust that He made it from. But we know that we couldn't accomplish and do anything in this life without God's grace and mercy on our life. And we obviously see that on your life because He's allowed you to accomplish so much in such a short period of time.
Oh, my God.
So many people have passed on and gone into the grave, and they only wished and dreamed that they had the opportunities that you have and have had. And we know that it's by the grace of God and His mercy over your life that He's continuing to be a blessing upon you and upon your gifts, your talents, over your family. I heard you say you had a son. I wanted to know, how old is your son?
Oh, yeah. My oldest son is 27.
What?
And I have a
You
daughter
look
that's
27.
20. Okay, man, I appreciate that. I got a daughter that's 24.
Wow.
And my youngest one is 17. He's about to graduate from high school. But you know what? You touched on something, and it was when I started to tour with India that I realized that to the fullest, because I was, again, like I said, I came up, with under my grandfather. I've been playing in church since I was 15. Like I had my own choir since I was 15.
Yeah.
So when I started touring, it was different. I didn't have Sunday mornings anymore. I was on the road somewhere, and for a while I was conflicted. But then over time I realized, like, you know what? It was exactly what you said. Like my relationship is my relationship, and once I realized that, then it really began to make sense. And it's like, okay, I'm gone. I'm on the road. Like I said, I was touring for close to 20 years, and so
Jesus.
it was like, man,
Mm.
and it was, if you want it, I had to go get it. It
Mhm.
wasn't a convenient thing, and that's when I realized what you said too about religion. That's when I realized that religion is a pattern.
Mhm.
You know, the definition of religion is pattern. You
Mhm.
brush your teeth religiously. You get them going to work religiously.
True, true,
You know what I
true.
mean?
That's what my
You take a
pastor
shower
says, too.
religiously.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
so yeah, you take a shower every day religiously just so you can stay clean.
Mhm.
And so that's the thing is that, you know, we need religion early on because spiritually that's the training wheels.
Mhm.
So that's what that is. So I got to the point where I didn't need religion. I needed God, but I didn't need the pattern because once I got on the road, the pattern wasn't available to me anyway.
Mhm.
And I realized that the pattern was mine to develop. So that's why in the beginning it was like, how should we pray? Well, like this, our Father which art. But then once you understand that and the concept of that, now you can, you know, feel free to do it yourself. You know what I mean? And so that's what I realized, like, okay, this thing is for me to design. Our relationship is on us and how we designed it. And, you know, just like any other relationship, the more I put in it, the more I get out of it. And
Oh,
so
that's
what I
wonderful
realized.
right there. I love that.
Yeah. The more I put in, the more times I come home with flowers, the sweeter my wife is. You know what I mean? So,
You know that's the truth. You know that's
know what I
the
mean?
truth right there.
Yo,
you know what I mean? So,
Yo.
So the same thing, you know.
Yes.
yo,
Yeah,
Shannon.
the better I am, you know, the better God is to me. So hey, once I realized that, it's like, well, see, let me be out here trying to do right.
Yo,
Yeah.
man, Shannon, thank you so much for your time. I mean, your publicist gave us a time frame, and we went way over. So I appreciate the love, man,
Oh,
for
man.
real.
Oh man, we're just having fun, man. Listen, I'm just having fun. You guys sound like great people. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you and talk about the record and to just talk about my life. And thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for
No, thank you
checking
for.
for us, you know,
Well,
behind the scenes people like me.
oh man.
He said
Well,
behind the scenes
yo,
people like him. You better stop.
thank you for dropping and blessing us with dope music for years. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
For
man. Thank you,
years,
sir.
you know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. And if you ever need anything from us, you know what I'm saying? Just hit us up
Yeah.
anytime. Man, we're so grateful and
Yeah.
so blessed and excited to have you part of the show. And I have to go through this one more time because we have right now we're being broadcast in like 3-4 different outlets right now. You know what I'm saying? One of the outlets couldn't
wow.
hear us in the beginning, but I just want to say one more time, Shannon Sanders, and this is just a little bit of his resume.
Yeah.
He has a GED once again, but not the way we get GEDs. He has a Grammy, he has an Emmy, he's got Grammys and a
Yes.
Dove Award. You know what I'm saying? He's worked with NDRE, John Legend, The Temptations, Jonathan Reynolds, Jill Scott, Scarface, Next, Mandisa, Nicole C. Mullen, Kimberly Locken. That's not even half.
No,
you know what I'm saying? That's just the tip of the iceberg.
That's right.
He sits on so many boards. And he's a program director at 102.1 The Ville. You know what I'm saying? Check him out at 1021theville.com. 1021theville.com. Now, Shannon, how can people follow you on social media?
Man, I appreciate all that. Come to Shannon Sanders. I'm like, wow. I got the big piece of chicken on that one. Wow. So look, if you're looking for me, you can come to ShannonSanders.com. It'll tell you everything you want to know and then some. And all my social stuff is there. So, yeah.
Cool.
Check for your boy.
Cool. And coming up next, we want to play this one right here. Evangel, introduce the song, please.
Yes. Is this going to be Glory?
Yeah.
This is going to be
Yeah, let's do that
Glory?
one. Yeah, let's.
Glory/Stranger
Yep.
Glory.
Mhm.
All right, we got Shannon Sanders on the line right now. You know
Live.
What? You know what? I don't even want to cut him off. Shannon, I want you to introduce the song, but I want you to sing. I want you to give them a taste of what I just heard. Go ahead and sing that and then introduce the song.
One day when the glory comes, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. Oh, glory.
Woo.
Hey, listen, this is the Fifth Jubilee Singers featuring Derek Minor and yours truly, Shannon Sanders. And yeah, here we go.
Right here at GODRadio1.com. Hold on, Shannon.